Hey mamas, it's Cher here at Dragonfly Maternity. I've been getting some questions from my prenatal clients about postures, yoga postures for labor and delivery. So I thought I would take a moment here to share with you my top 5 yoga postures to help with childbirth. And these postures are primarily working with gravity neutral or gravity assisted orientations of the body rather than working against gravity, as in feet up in the air, higher than the hips here, then babes having to travel up the birth canal. Rather, we want to be working ideally with gravity. And there are some reasonings and variations that you may need to be in that posture, that orientation of the body where feet are up higher. But ideally, if we're continuing to move with the fluidity of the body and work with gravity, that again is ideal. These postures aid in creating that movement from position to position so that the body can continue to work with the energy. And they're also postures that keep the sacrum and the pelvis moving as well. And there's also some postures in here that create more space and expansion, moving the ribcage farther away from the pelvis as well. So to begin with, I will come into all fours, coming into Malasana, cat-cow, a very familiar one. So as you bring that alignment from tabletop, aligning the joints, hips over knees and shoulders over wrists. As we spread the fingers nice and wide, just start to connect to the breath here, rolling through the spine. Really focus on that powerful tool of the breath, the pranayama, bringing in the inhale and exhale as you connect to your body. So inhale to lift the hips, heart and head, expanding through the torso, through the diaphragm. And then exhale, tuck the chin under and round the back up, hugging babe in. This is a beautiful posture where we can ground into hands and knees and still have that fluidity and range of motion in the pelvis, the heart space, and the spine. So that is the first posture. Then secondly, I'm just going to rotate here. Parigasana, 8 pulls, is another beautiful posture as well that again elongates through the rib cage and creates that movement and fluidity. So you can do this posture on either or, both sides. So extend one leg out. Now normally in Parigasana we're rising up. There's a variety of different variations in this particular pose, keeping that hip over the knee. When we're coming into these variations through labor and delivery and that fluidity in the body, you can move that hip around. You can have hands either in front, maybe even using something like a chair or a yoga block to elevate a little bit higher. And then you can create some movement from front to back. I'll show you from this side as well. So as we're angling outward, back toes are tucked under. And then as you use the hands for support, you can create a bit of movement here from side to side and front to back. And you can also have that hand out to the side, put a foot away from the bent knee, and you can take that arm overhead here. So again, we're elongating through the side, bringing the rib cage farther away from the pelvis. Bring some arm rotations in here. You can even create that movement from front to back on this side with the hand down to the hip or the thigh. So this uses a little bit more engagement in the body, still bringing that range of motion in. And again, of course, you can do that on both sides, depending on how you are carrying babe, how your labor and delivery experience is feeling in your body. The third one that I'd like to share with you is Yogi squat Malasana. So coming from tabletop position, take the knees nice and wide and bring the feet out in alignment with the knees. So the feet are wide as well. You're tucking the toes under. As you start to walk the hands towards yourself, you'll come all the way up onto the heels. You can use a support underneath the sit bones, ideally positioning your support, whether it's a yoga block or a pillow or a bolster or a foam roller. You're placing it behind the sit bones for labor and delivery so that the outlet is open and accessible for babe's arrival. So you can bring the palms to touch in front of the heart space. Maybe the soles of the feet are all the way down, or you have that support underneath and the heels are lifted. Again, depending on what's feeling best for you, there's a variety of options. You can create a bit of that swaying from side to side. And in this position, the hips are internally rotated. Even though the knees are out to the sides, the way the hips are orientated in the pelvis is an internal rotation here, which is beneficial for later stages of labor and delivery. And your healthcare team can help work with you on that level to indicate where you were at in your stages. And the benefit of this is that it, again, opens the outlet of the birth canal. So when we're preparing for baby's arrival, this is a beautiful posture to come into this way. Coming to sit on the sit bones, we're grounding into the hands, the sit bones, and the heels. The hands can be directly underneath the shoulders or taken a little bit wider for support, taking the feet about a foot apart, and then swaying the shins from side to side. So this can be a beautiful lower back release, where we're able to ground in here, providing the body a lot of support and still bringing that internal external rotation from left hip to right. So we're creating fluidity in the pelvis again as well. You can even linger over on one side if you would like to explore that sensation a little bit deeper, or just continuing that movement, especially through the earlier stages of labor and delivery. When you're coming through contractions, it can be a beautiful way to work with the breath, work with the body, keeping things connected and present and flowing. And this last posture I'll show you is Reclined Buddha. You can again do this on either side. Just keep this off to the side here. So as you come to lie on the side, you can come down to the forearm, and the legs can be stacked to begin with. This is a little bit more exertion in the body. Again, we're creating length in the sides and working with that gravity neutral positioning for the body. So the feet, the hips are an even plane. You can even come down a little bit lower here, a little bit more restorative, a little bit more restful this way, resting the head onto the hand for support. And then as you come to release and find movement in the lower body, there's a few different variations that you can come into as well. So you can draw that knee in towards the shoulder. The variation here is you bend the knee and bring the foot back. You can bring the hand to the ankle and releasing back here. And you can also come to bring that top leg, the foot down to the earth, maybe using a yoga block or pillow or bolster for support under that foot, and come to bring the top arm down to the earth as well. This is a little bit more grounded and supportive. So depending on what stage of labor and delivery you are at, this can be a beneficial orientation for the body as well. You can also do it on that opposite side too. So I hope you find those helpful for your labor and delivery experience. These are some of the orientations that you can bring for your body through that labor and delivery experience. Again, staying connected to your breath, working with your flow of movement and energy in the body, and being in tune with your inner wisdom, your inner goddess through that experience. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.